In this video, I'll show you how to make money with cryptocurrency including Bitcoin, Ethereum, and other altcoins. I will reveal the strategies I personally use to reduce risk and maximize my gains. So if you're a beginner to crypto and want to learn how it can make money for you, then this is the video for you, my friend. I would encourage you to watch all the way through because by the end of it, you'll have absorbed all the knowledge you need to start your own crypto investing journey. So if that sounds good to you, let's roll the intro. What is going on, my people? Welcome back to my channel. It's your boy Brian, back with another video to help you build your wealth. If you're new here, my name is Brian and I am an investor who loves to talk about all things investing and personal finance. My motto is, if it can make us money, then I'm going to talk about it. If you haven't already, click that subscribe button and the notification bell so you can keep up to date with all my future content. Also, you can join my Instagram page where I post daily about crypto, stocks, and other investing news. So come join the community and say hi. Before I begin, I do have to say I am not a financial advisor and my comments are for entertainment purposes only. You should take the information I provide today as a guide only to do your own research and decide for yourself if you should invest in cryptocurrency. Also, please note that cryptocurrency is very volatile, so I would not recommend you invest all your money into just crypto. It's important to diversify and spread out your risk by investing in other assets like stocks and real estate. Now let's talk about the three strategies that I use to maximize my crypto gains. First strategy is to buy and hold Bitcoin and Ethereum. This is my main strategy and where majority of my crypto portfolio is invested in. These are the top two cryptocurrencies with the largest market cap and are considered to be the blue chip coins in the crypto community. In the future, we won't know who will be in the top 10 coins, but one thing that I'm almost certain of is the top two will be Bitcoin and Ethereum. Now it's debatable who will be number one in the future, but that's a video for another day. I won't go into too much details on each coin as I could go on for hours, but just to give you a brief overview, Bitcoin was the first cryptocurrency created back in 2009. It runs on the Bitcoin blockchain, which requires miners to validate each block to verify transactions. The miners are incentivized to mine and keep the blockchain secure, with each miner getting a share of new Bitcoin being created. Over time, these transactions get harder to solve. Bitcoin has a finite supply of 21 million Bitcoins. No more, no less. Once all 21 million Bitcoins are mined, there can no longer be any more created. Every 4 years, there is an event called the Bitcoin halving, where the rewards for miners are halved, thus reducing the supply of Bitcoin into circulation. For this reason, Bitcoin is often referred to as digital gold, since it is scarce by nature. I actually made a separate more in-depth video about Bitcoin and why I think it will 10x from its current price. I'll leave a link below and you can watch that video after this one. I highly recommend it. Now let's talk about Ethereum. As a blockchain network, Ethereum is a decentralized public ledger for verifying and recording transactions. It was created to enable developers to build and publish smart contracts and distributed applications that can be used without the risk of downtime, fraud, or interference from third parties. Ethereum claims to be the world's programmable blockchain. As such, it is different from Bitcoin because it's a programmable network that serves as a market for financial services, games, and apps which can be paid using the Ethereum coin. At the moment, due to its popularity, the network does get congested a lot, which increases the gas fees. Therefore, at the moment, it is not a feasible currency for the average person. But once the Ethereum 2.0 upgrade is applied, it will solve this issue with faster transactions and therefore better performance and fees. A lot of NFT projects are currently being built on the Ethereum blockchain, and with Facebook announcing the plan to build the metaverse, this opens up so much potential for new projects that will want to use the Ethereum blockchain. I cannot understate the huge potential this will have on the Ethereum's future price, and that is why I continue to buy and hold. Now, I don't like to try and time the market when it comes to these two coins, so I follow the dollar cost average strategy. This means every week I'll buy a certain amount of both coins no matter what the price is. This reduces the risk of price volatility and removes the stress of trying to perfectly time my entry points. If we look at the charts here for Bitcoin, I started dabbling in Bitcoin around 2019. I wasn't really buying much, but was nibbling at it here and there. I then started buying more during the halving event in May 2020, which coincided with the beginning of the pandemic. I continued to dollar cost average from that point on until today, and it's fair to say I'm quite happy with my returns. Now, if you look at the Ethereum chart, I actually started doing research in 2020, and it took a few months before I was convinced that this coin was here to stay. So I remember buying a few coins around November 2020 for about $550 US. And in hindsight, I should have bought more because with the current price of Ethereum sitting at about $4,500 US, those few coins have gone on to increase by about 800% in less than a year. Anyway, I continued to dollar cost average up until now and will continue to do so in the future. I actually think this has a strong chance to outperform Bitcoin in the next 10 years. But again, that's a video for another day. To earn some extra passive income, I lend out my Bitcoin and Ethereum to crypto exchanges that pay me anywhere from 3.5 to 5%. Now, I know it's not that much, but I figured if I'm holding these long term, then I may as well have them earning some interest for me. In case you're interested, the two exchanges I use are Cake DeFi and BlockFi. I'll link them down below if you want to check them out. The second strategy is buying, selling, and swapping mid-cap coins. Unlike my first strategy, this is more of a short to medium term strategy. So this involves me researching coins in the top 30 with a much lower market cap than the big two. I'm looking for coins that are poised to break out due to some upcoming events or catalysts. For example, one of my most recent investment was Solana. I saw that while Ethereum was very popular, this can sometimes be a weakness because the Ethereum network becomes heavily congested and transactions become more expensive as a result. This is why the main complaint with Ethereum is the high gas fees. I saw Solana as a less known project at the time and a good alternative to Ethereum. In fact, I saw that it processed transactions faster than any other crypto and had a similar use case to Ethereum with smart contracts. At the time, NFTs were all the rage and I noticed some projects being built on Solana. I also noted that it had a few events and catalysts coming up. By the way, you can use this website called coinmarketcow.com to see upcoming events for all crypto coins listed. So this is what I use if I want to do a short-term trade. If I see some big events coming up for a certain coin, I'll load up on the coin months and weeks beforehand for a quick gain. It's kind of like buying the rumor and selling the news, which is what I did for Solana to an extent. So I bought some Solana in August for about $40 per coin, and with the continued popularity in NFTs on the Solana blockchain and Facebook announcing the metaverse, the coin reached around $210, which is where I sold. I mean, a 5x return in a few months is a gift, and in this volatile market, you've got to take that profit if it's staring you right in the face. However, I didn't sell it all, and I still hold some Solana because I really like the project and I believe it could be a top 3 coin in the long term. I mean, looking at it now, it's currently sitting at number 4 at the time of filming. But I could not forgive myself if I didn't sell at 500% profit and we suddenly go through a bear market. I'll keep the cash for now and I will redeploy it when I see another opportunity. Please note that this strategy does not always work. Sometimes the upcoming events gets cancelled, delayed, or does not meet expectations. If this happens, it could send the price of the coin crashing back down very fast. So please note that this strategy is a calculated risk. I wouldn't recommend it for beginners until you gain more knowledge on how the cryptocurrency market works. Another part to this strategy is swapping coins instead of selling. So for example, I've been buying Cardano since the middle of the year. Unfortunately, I didn't pick it up when it was about 18 cents at the beginning of the year. I got in at about $1 and I was holding it until about a week ago. I was searching for the next mid-cap coin to break out and I saw Avalanche, or AVAX for short, and I did some research on it and I really liked what I discovered. Now, I do like Cardano. It was another smart contract crypto that was competing with Ethereum for market share. However, Cardano had already doubled in price since I picked it up, and with the Alonzo upgrade already completed which shot up the price, I didn't see many catalysts remaining in the short term. On the other hand, I really liked what I read about Avalanche and what they're trying to do. I won't go into too much detail on this as I want to make a separate video on Avalanche. So if you currently look at the coin market cap, Cardano is currently sitting at about 66 billion. So I was thinking, for Cardano to 5x my money, the market cap would have to go to about 330 billion, which is more than half of Ethereum's market cap. At this stage, I don't believe Cardano deserves to be half of Ethereum's market cap. Ethereum currently has a far better network effect and there are so many investors already in Ethereum and setting up NFT projects. But even for Cardano to 2x, it would need a substantial amount of money flowing in. On the other hand, if we look at Avalanche at 17 billion market cap, it is a lot easier for it to 5x in price, which would take the market cap to about 85 billion. I honestly believe that number is reasonable for the potential of Avalanche. It would put Avalanche at about the same market cap as Solana. Let's also remember how fast Solana moved to these levels. I feel it's much more reasonable for Avalanche to 5x than expecting Cardano to do the same thing. So you can see where I'm going with this. I made the calculated decision to swap all my Cardano coins into Avalanche coins. I am happy with the 100% gain on Cardano and may buy back in if it dips. I still like the Cardano project and think it still has a lot of room to grow, but for now, I'm happy to swap them for AVAX coins. So looking back, I did this trade about a week ago and so far Cardano is about 2% up, whereas Avalanche has gone up by about 20%. So far so good. It's still early days, so let's see how this trade ages in the future. By the way, if you're a beginner, most exchanges would have this function to swap coins instead of having to sell a coin and then buying another coin with it. It saves time and it's generally cheaper to just swap if that's your plan. Please do keep in mind that you are incurring a tax event when you do this, so you need to treat it as if you are selling a coin. This buy and selling strategy requires me to have no loyalty to any coins outside the top 2. There's a rule in stock market investing that you should never fall in love with your stock or company. The same applies for crypto. You buy them when they're undervalued and you sell them when they're overvalued. The third strategy I use is the most risky one. This strategy is almost like gambling. Well, I like to call it calculated gambling. This strategy is just a bit of fun and I only use a tiny percentage of my capital. And I go in with the mindset that any money I put in, I'm willing to lose all of it. This strategy involves momentum trading on small and micro cap coins where the market cap is much lower, so it's easier for the price to move up if there's enough momentum behind it. To find these momentum coins, I look for what is trending on social media. I think the two best platforms for this is Twitter and Reddit. Especially on Twitter, you can follow some big crypto accounts and it's easy to see what is currently trending and what the market is interested in. In fact, a lot of news break on Twitter before it reaches mainstream media. I also keep an eye on the cryptocurrency subreddit to keep up to date with all the current news and look for any trends. For example, there were rumors of Facebook's metaverse before it was announced, so the trending coins at the time was gaming coin. I did some research and bought some Sandbox token, which had a lot of hype behind it, but still at a small enough market cap. I bought a small amount at about 500 Australian dollars at $1 per token. Then a week later, Facebook announced plans to create the metaverse and change their name to Meta. Of course, this news was a big catalyst for any NFT and gaming related coins, and Sandbox being a blockchain-based virtual game where users can build, buy and sell digital assets, benefited largely from this news. In the next few days, the coin quickly shot up to $4.50 Australian dollars at its very peak and triggered my sell order. Afterwards, it sold off and now is hovering around the high $3 mark. So I was very lucky to sell right at the top. But even if the price kept going up, I would still be happy with that return. In fact, I'll put the trade up on the screen to give you an example. As you can see, a 350% return in 2 weeks. But again, I will note that I got very lucky to sell right at the top. I've also got a few other NFT gaming coins that I hold and haven't sold yet. Let me know down in the comments below if you want me to do a video about some of these lower market cap coins that I think will largely benefit from the metaverse and the rise of NFTs and gaming. Again, I don't take this strategy too seriously and it's just a fun way for me to make a few quick bucks. I don't always win and I have made a loss in a few trades. But that's okay because I only use a small percentage of my allocation to carry out this strategy. I would definitely not recommend this strategy for beginners. So wrapping up, these are my 3 strategies that I use to make money in crypto. If you're a beginner, I would not recommend you trying to do strategy 2 and definitely not strategy 3. You need to remember that trading cryptocurrency in the short term can be stressful, and if you're an emotional trader, you could lose your money very easily and very fast. I would first learn the fundamentals of cryptocurrency, particularly Bitcoin and Ethereum. Just understand them and know the reasons you would invest in them. And once you've done your own research and have a strong enough conviction, I would look at dollar cost averaging into Bitcoin and Ethereum. Trying to time the market is dangerous, so I believe this is the best strategy for most people. In the long term, majority of cryptocurrencies will not survive and there will probably be less than 10 cryptocurrencies that make it. And some of them may not have even been created yet, but I do strongly believe Bitcoin and Ethereum will be amongst them. So please invest safely, my friends. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you got any value out of it, please give it a like. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and follow me on Instagram for more daily content. So until next time, my name is Brian and I hope you make a lot of money.